Welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about some daily or just in general traits I've tried to integrate into my life that I feel like make my life easier. So I've seen a lot of people posting these videos, basically like habits to level up, whether they are boring and just not that attractive, but things that really help to improve the person's life. And I thought that I could give my 2 cents in case anyone wants to integrate any of these into their life. So the first one that I would say that really helps, and this one is very work job dependent, but it does work for my role, which is to finish your work every day just ASAP. Like, treat it as a motivation for you to basically get your entire work to-do list done and then have a day to yourself. Obviously, this is harder the more that you go into the office. Like on my office days, I often end up getting a little bit unstimulated because I'm really fast with my work. But it works especially well if you work from home, and it basically means that you have time to do your errands, you have a lot of time in your day back, and you're still concentrating and doing your work, but you are just trying to finish at least your main to-do list ASAP. And of course, you're available for any calls, emails, and messages that do come in after finishing that list. But you are basically giving yourself the time to have that work-life balance and to say, unstack the dishwasher as a break. You have time to go and actually make your lunch in the kitchen, and it just helps so much. So this is something I try and get done #1 priority every single morning, and it really helps to alleviate my own stress as someone who likes to kind of accomplish and tick things off a list. It really helps me start my day brightly. Secondly is to train yourself to always be on time or early. This is something that I think is definitely learnt from parents and learnt from young. I personally have always had a bit of that anxious personality. So literally from the age of like 7, I was scared of being late, and it's just stuck with me. So even though I'm more chill about it these days, because obviously sometimes it's just not in your control, I always try and be at least on time, because it is such a good trait to show that you respect the people you are meeting with. If you are someone who is consistently late, you're pretty unreliable, people tell you to come at 10 instead of 10:30 because they know you'll come at 10:30, you kind of have a problem. It's not cutesy, it's not cheeky, it's actually really disrespectful to keep someone else waiting for you. And if you are running late, of course, for really just reasons that aren't really you, such as traffic, then that's completely fine. As long as you're telling that person your ETA, you're keeping them updated, that is a separate and more understandable kind of lateness. But I'm talking about chronic lateness that you just have not outgrown since you were young, and you literally still think that it is acceptable in a friendship to do it. It's not nice, and it is actually really damaging to a friendship sometimes, because then that friend might actually feel like they can't really trust you in other avenues, not just in being on time. So I would highly recommend to train yourself to be early or on time, because it seriously does help with your relationships and your reliability with people. The third habit that I have stuck to for a number of years now is to only buy dress-up clothes when I'm hosting an event. So every time I am going to host a party, whether it is my birthday or just a random celebration that I want to have as a dress-up event at my home, I will buy an outfit, and then I always use that outfit to be a guest at other people's special events. So such as weddings, parties, baby showers, whatever the special occasion is, I always rewear those dresses that were once my host dresses. Because if you keep buying dresses every single time you are just a guest to an event, it's not even worth it, because you don't always get good photos of yourself at every single event you go to. So I feel like you may as well just only buy that special nice dress, treat yourself because you are the host, and then rewear those as your wedding dresses. I can't tell you how many times I have reworn the same dress over and over again for a wedding, and no one cares. Even if I have mutuals at same weddings over and over, they've seen me in the dress before, it doesn't matter. No one's gonna say anything, because how does it actually affect their life? It literally doesn't affect their life at all. So no one actually cares if they see you in the same dress-up outfit. I literally wear the same dresses for ceremonies and the same dresses for receptions all the time. And it's a really good method that I think actually really works, because it helps me save. Otherwise, I would be shopping for formal dresses for the sake of just like feeling fancy all the time. And I actually wouldn't have enough events to actually wear them to. It's not like I'm going to a wedding every single Saturday. So it's definitely more worth it to basically only restrict yourself to buying a fancy outfit when you are the host. Make sure that you shine in it the very first time you wear it in front of people, and then rewear it when you are a guest. My fourth habit is that if you have many days in a row within your week that pretty much look the same, like for example, for me, I actually mostly work from home from Monday to Wednesday every week. So basically, during those days, I have set myself up with a work from home routine, and that is to get up as soon as I can. I don't always do this. Sometimes I'm feeling more tired than other days, but I do try and get up really early. And then I try and finish all of my main work to-do list. I answer messages, emails, all of that. And then I go into getting myself some breakfast, and that could just literally be a snack because I'm not a huge brekkie person, but whenever I feel hungry in the morning, I just go for it. Then I move on to my admin, which these days is mainly like in my screenshots, because screenshotting is a nice way for me to remind myself of what I need to do in my personal life. And then I would do my devotionals, which is where I am reading a book about marriage at the moment, and there's one devotional a day. So it's like I finish one page and then I'm done. I pray. And then I do stretches. And then something that I have most recently added in is tidying up the house, because I used to only deep clean when guests were coming over. And then I realized that if I have a period of time where there's no guests, it means the mess really builds, and I don't want that. So I've also started to make sure that, for example, the dishwasher's unloaded from overnight, and I have everything in its place. Like if there's things scattered around that belong to Bill, I put them in his office. If they belong to me, I put it in my office, and I basically just clean up a little bit, vacuum if I need to as well, like if I haven't for a couple weeks. And then I can basically get onto my hobbies, which is very, very different depending on what kind of life I am living. But at the moment, it is basically YouTube and Instagram, because I have really liked making this content for fun for you guys, because I haven't been a content creator for a few years now. So now I'm really back in my, no, this is like me doing content out of passion, not because I want to become an influencer. So this has been really fun for me. I'm literally just posting whatever I want, whenever I want. I literally post a few reels a day. And if people want to unfollow me or judge me for that, that's completely fine. That leads me to my next point, which is a very, very, very positive trait to have in life, is to be confident and not really care about what others think about you. So basically, when I graduated school when I was 18, which is now way too long ago, but when I did, I came out of school extremely nervous about what people thought of me. And the main group that I was worried about was actually Christians, because I had unfortunately been bullied by some. And basically, I started to care a lot about not fitting into the good girl Christian image. And even though I don't want to be in that image, I still felt bad that I was being left out because I didn't fit that image. So I basically asked one of my uni Christian group leaders, hey, does God actually want us to care about people's opinions of us, or does he want us to just move on and only care about God's opinion? And so this leader basically told me, in the Bible, it does matter about reputation, because if a whole bunch of people are saying the same negative things about you, it's probably at least a little bit true. So we do have to care about our reputation and how we are setting an example for being a Christian. But at the same time, it doesn't matter that you care about every little thought that some random person has of you. If someone thinks that your hair is really messy today, who cares? Like, that's not sinning against God. Been on a massive journey of not caring as much of people's opinions, particularly Christian opinions, in my years of adulthood so far. And I feel like I am at this space where maybe it's also because I'm feeling a lot more happy than I have been in the last couple years, but I actually do feel like I am very much myself, and that comes with the spamming on Instagram, that comes with being really loud and sociable. And even though I'm definitely a lot more introverted than I was before, like I still love being alone now, I actually do believe that I've been feeling more free to be myself recently. Being confident and just being yourself is actually a very, very important trait to have in life, because it literally just gives you so much freedom to say what you want, do what you want, obviously all within reason, but like to not feel like you have to restrict your own natural personality is actually really rare sometimes, depending on what stage of life you're in. And I think once you feel that feeling of, oh my gosh, I feel like I can literally just act and be like myself right now, that is actually really good for your life. Another habit that I have been trying to get into lately is improving my makeup and hair and basically just caring more about appearance. Not to the point where I am very perfectionistic about it, like obviously this hairstyle is not perfect and my skin isn't perfect right now, but the fact that I'm putting effort into my beauty and actually wanting to tackle insecurities such as say pimples or the fact that I have no idea how to style my hair even though I'm mid-20s now, like tackling different things like that and actually wanting to improve has been really helpful. So for example, I wanted to start with the easiest level of learning to style my hair and making it wavy. And so the first method that I have been doing for the past week is just going to sleep with my hair tied in a high bun, and it actually works. My hair actually becomes wavy, particularly those first couple days after washing my hair when it's clean. It actually has been working considerably well, even though they're kind of messy waves, but they're good nonetheless, compared to if I had to actually force myself to learn how to style hair, and I only have a very old straightener at the moment, so I don't even have the correct tools for that. And I've been finding it really helpful because then I can take out my hair, I might not even need to have makeup on, and I feel like I'm already a little bit more glam. And that really helps with confidence boosting and just how I actually feel about my day. Like I literally just feel better because I feel like I look better. And secondly, with makeup, on and off over the last few years because of my skin issues, which have been number one, chemical burns, and number two, acne, which I have documented both on here. I have only been able to learn and improve on makeup a little bit more on and off. Like I haven't been able to do it just anytime I feel like it because of those problems. But I'm finally at a period of my life where I do have pimples here and there, but they're not breakouts like the acne I had. So I don't have chemical burns either, which is also great. So I have been taking the opportunity to basically do makeup every time I'm going out or making content, and it's been really fun to actually just like be able to tell myself, okay, I want to be so good at makeup that I can see a makeup trend and not even have to watch a tutorial on it. I can just do it and know what products and techniques they have used on their face. Like that's my goal for makeup. And so yeah, it's been really fun because it's fun to make your features enhance and to make yourself feel and look a little better every day. And it just kind of improves your daily life and it's just fun. My final habit that I try to stick to in pretty much every avenue of my life is that I like to use things up before I buy the next thing. So for example, I actually have a bunch of books in my shelf that are pretty much all my mum's old books because I took them from my family home. And I could easily go and buy a book that I'm really interested in and basically just forego all of those books that are waiting on my shelf and read the ones that I want to read first. But I like to like use things up and I like to like read what I already have at home. I like to use the makeup I already have at home rather than buying new makeup. I like to use up all of the clothes I have at home, and I pretty much never buy casual clothing. In fact, 2/3 of my wardrobe is literally given to me. It's not even bought by me. And so I like to basically use up what I have and make the most of it. Like I know people who are like, oh, I only use one pump of foundation because the foundation was expensive, so I want it to last a long time. I'm the kind of person where I'm like, let's just use a lot of product, obviously without looking too caked, but like, let's just use things up because I bought it to be used. So I have a very usage mindset. I don't know what exactly to call that, but I feel like we should make the most of the things that we have actually bought for ourselves and what we own. And so I will continuously get change into a new outfit. I will continuously put on more blush, for example. And it's just like, I like to use everything and then I will allow myself to buy something new because I've run out. So I only really buy things when I run out of them, which also helps me to save money because that's something I definitely have been learning about and aiming for the past 4 years of my life. I've been really trying to save every year. And that is really helpful to stop yourself from just buying unnecessary items, because if you, for example, keep buying heels, but you already have a few pairs of heels, it's like, when are you actually going to get the chance to go to so many fancy events that you can really rotate all the heels? Like, unless you're like a celebrity influencer, you got every single Friday, Saturday, I don't think the majority of us are actually going to be using every single item that we buy if we are the type of person who loves to shop. So I love using everything until they break or run out. That is basically my motto. And it's also why I actually wore very casual broken heels for my wedding, because they were just the most comfortable heels that I own, and I cannot stand uncomfortable shoes. So I literally wore them even though they were broken and they were a few years old, but I love them. And so I wanted to wear those heels for my wedding, and they still haven't fully broken yet. I'm waiting for them to actually break to the point where I cannot wear them anymore. At the moment, they're kind of just a little bit like torn, but I still wore them for the wedding, and even though that is considered a very special event where most people buy expensive heels for it, I knew it wouldn't really show under my dress, so I was not bothered. I just chose comfort over style, and that's the kind of mindset that I have when it comes to saving up, using everything I have, and being grateful for what I do own already. You would be surprised because you might think, oh, but if you use everything up so much, then don't you have to constantly buy a lot as well? But you'll be surprised because I don't actually have to replenish a lot of my items very often. Many things do last a long time. I have very old and very likely expired makeup, but does it work? Yes, it does. So I will continue to do my using up before I buy the next item mindset because I feel like it really works with me and my goals for budgeting. Honestly, also gives me satisfaction whenever I do use something up. It's like, yeah, I worked hard to like use that item up. I love that. It also makes it not feel as much of a waste when, say, I worn a shirt over and over and over, but one day it gets really stained and I can't get the stain out, so I'm gonna chuck it away and pretty much put it in a donation bin. It makes you feel not as bad because you actually have worn that shirt over and over and over again. Whereas if you're someone who likes to just wear one fashion item maybe like 3 times in a year, you're kind of like, what a waste. I just stained it. I can no longer wear it. I have to donate it now. I only wore it a few times. And I pretty much never feel like that because I use all of my items multiple times. And that really helps me to feel like I actually made the most use out of it if I do have to donate or throw something away. Those are all my habits and traits of life that have leveled up my lifestyle and that I really think have been helping me so far throughout my adulthood. Some of these habits I have implemented for years and years already. Some are brand new. So I hope that this was helpful.